Hello YouTube, and welcome to the first video in this series on the Vex Modkit development environment. In this first video, we're just going to be taking a look at the environment itself and the different menus that you're going to be working in. So this is about how it's going to look when you first fire up the program. In front of you, the first thing that we're going to look at is what I like to call the robot plane. And the only thing on it right now is the robot brain. So every robotics project is going to have a brain. And so that's where you run the programs from and how everything's going to be working. And right now it looks pretty empty, but it's in this plane that you're going to be putting everything that's attached to your robot. You're going to be letting the program know, like, hey, I've got this many motors, and I've got a controller attached to this project. I've got a bumper attached to this project. And the way that you're going to do that involves our next menu over here on the left. So scrolling down, you can take a look at everything that we're able to kind of attach to this project. So you have the basic things, a motor, a controller, and then you hit some of our kind of more fancier things, and by that I mean kind of just not going to be a part of every project. The bumper sensor, the touch LED, the color sensor, the distance sensor, and the gyro. Now finally, these last three things on the list are kind of these pre-put together packaged parts. So unlike everything else that we kind of just glanced at, these parts are already kind of put together and work together as a unit, and just that these are so used that they already have them kind of pre-packaged in for us. So the first one's a drivetrain, made up of 2 motors, 4 wheels, and a supporting base. The rotator, which is simply a motor with an axle in it and something attached to it that's going to rotate around. And the slider. This one again made with a motor and an axle. This time it spins a gear which slides this blue bar in and out. So these are the basic kind of components that we're going to be working with and that all of our robotics projects are going to be made up out of. So let's simplify this real quick. So let's say we have just a drivetrain, a brain, and a controller. So let's take a look at our drivetrain. When you have the drivetrain pulled up, you're able to select what port each motor is connected to, as well as, given that it's a complex part, you can actually go ahead and select controller actions from within. And these will be preset, you won't have to program these, and they can be useful if you're just trying to get something done quickly. You can also change some of the settings of it, including its name, the layout, the grouping, all kinds of things. There's a lot of customization here that you can get into. But for just starting out, and for learning, you're mostly going to be working with putting in what port your motors are connected to. Now then, for these other for the brain and the controller, you're not going to have any of those extra options here. However, for both of these, we are going to have our next menu. So once you've kind of laid out exactly what's going to be a part of your robot, you're going to want to pull up the blocks menu. So blocks, again, you're going to see this kind of empty plane here and a menu to your left. This time, on our left, we have blocks. Now, since this is an introductory programming software, you program using blocks. And in a future video, we're going to kind of go over the basics of some of the most used blocks and kind of how block programming is going to look. But for now, you just need to know that you get them from this left menu. And they're split up into, your setup blocks, your output blocks, your sensing blocks, operator blocks, control blocks, and your own user-made blocks. And so similar to our robot menu, If we want one, say I want something that's going to run as soon as the program starts, we take that when start block, and you just kind of click and drag. And so we can just kind of throw something together. And so each part that you kind of told your robot that it has will have its own separate menu, and it'll have different blocks that it's able to use. And so it's going to be a lot of flipping between tabs when you're working with a variety of parts. So the next thing we're going to look at is this right here, and you can access this from your robot menu or your blocks menu, and this is where you title your project. So you just kind of click and type, and you name your file, and then from this tab you'll be able to start a new project, open up another project from previous saves, or you can save this project. So right there, I just saved it. And the final kind of menu part of this tutorial is our program operations. And so this little menu right here, we can save to the robot brain, and that will take whatever programs we've put together and we'll save it to the robot at the slot that we choose via this menu right here. Usually that'll be slot 1 unless you're downloading multiple things to your robot. It also lets you play the program, and so while your robot's attached, you can run it and kind of debug it from there. And if you're doing that, then you also have the stop button to stop it from there. So that's the basic overview of all the different menus in the Vex Modkit environment. I'm looking forward to creating more videos for you guys. If this has been helpful, then look forward to future videos. Peace.